boy. Real, wasn't real with you, boy. You won't give me too much chances. I don't care, I'm fine, I'm fencing brighter. Yeah, oh boy, I'm telling goodbye, I'm telling goodbye. Yeah, oh boy, I'm telling goodbye, I'm telling goodbye.
They haven't set up their positions well, allowing cats. Oh my god! Good evening, everyone. We are back with the H7 World Tank Splits Professionals Tournament, and we are now through to the final stage. Bracket finals begin with ID versus E7. Then the loser of this match will be facing Feast. We are now in the best of 7 series. That is, whichever team wins the first 4 matches will win the fixture. The format is a double elimination knockout stage for both stages, and now this stage, that means double elimination. If you lose 2 games, you're out of this tournament. So the bracket is seeded according to the Cup's leaderboard ranking, which you know already, and the final stage, upper bracket first round seeding, is according to the group results. First place will earn $3,500, second place $2,100, and tonight we will find out which clan will get $700. And we begin with Yukon, Fort Despair, Dynasty Sparrow, and Desert Sands, followed by Desert Sands, Alpenstadt, Faust, and Cam Steer. And this is the bracket finals. And tonight we begin with the upper bracket final in around 30 minutes, and lower bracket final, it will be held at 8:10 in Hong Kong time. Note that there is a 5-minute delay on this stream. This is to prevent teams from stream sniping, also known as teams knowing where the enemies are and what tanks the enemy is going to take. This is E7 lineup. We have Nat backwards as the captain of the team. We also have Nogi Surprise, Gamma, Ruler, Chromatrox, Uritards, Nitroglycerin, Pink Puffins, Alex, and Maddox. And this is I'm going to once again introduce this clan. This team is formed by a group of friends during Twister Cup 2018, and most of the members have since retired, but they try to keep the clan culture of having fun while being able to be decent at the game. They will try to take things easy most of the time, but sometimes but they want to be the forefront of the Asian matter, and they force themselves to get out their comfort zone, and sometimes comfort zone. Yeah, sorry. The team is mostly students. Some of them work, and most of them are from Australia, Cambodia, India, Malaysia, New Zealand, Singapore, and Alex is from Australia. And before that, most of the best result of CE7 is second place in 2019 online Twister Cup, and they want to for one season get the first place. And this is Feast. We have Feast. We have Bifrost as the captain of the team. We have Silver, Roadblock, Z-Park, Hidden Surprise, Sugar Mugu, Mr. Nick, sorry, it's Mr. Gur, James, Sleeping Lion Hong Kong, and Winter Fox. The best result has been the first place for 2 times in the online Twister final. And most of the players are from India, Malaysia, Singapore, Indonesia, Thailand, Vietnam, Hong Kong, the Philippines, Korea, and Australia. They started when they only started playing after Twister 2017, and their first proper team for the professional tournament was the 2018 Twister Cup, and they tried their best and actually qualified to the offline finals. And excluding spring season 2019, they managed to get at least top 4 in every season, and they changed rosters every season for numerous reasons, and these changes mean that their performance might not be consistent at times, but they will try their best to be consistent. And because they come from different countries, sometimes training can be a little bit difficult when it comes to some people working for a long period, and also time zones can be a problem. Feast encourages team play more than solo play, and everyone in the team like to track the bounce for the team to the point that everyone tracked the bounce and no one did the damage though. So it's and they also lost a lot in training, but that could only mean that they're just trying different strategies, different methods of communication and so on. And their aim this year is to perform much better than last year Blitz Asia Cup, where they finished 4th place. I think that's their lowest finish ever. No, the lowest finish since 2019 spring season. And last season they finished 2nd, and this season they're at least finishing in the 3rd place. Now we have Team ID, which is a Korean team led by Kampen, and we have Active Duty, Lanny, ARWV, Last Hope for Me game On You, LDS, Spartan Sword, and Radioactive forming part of the team. Yes, good evening, because Asia server, the people watching this one should be on the Asia server. But guten Tag zu Staubhauke. Can find Kampen. Where are you? Yep. So they remain the only Asia team to reach the offline Twister Grand Final, and that was back in 2016 when they were up against C4, and that was commentated by Bushka, and yeah, that was fun times. And this is a legendary team. Last year is probably their best year. They got number 1 in both summer and spring season, and Blitz Cup, Asia Cup, they finished 3rd place. And they cannot confirm whether they could achieve good results this year, but so far in the winter season, in the spring season, they at least will be finishing home with a 3rd place. And they usually assign tanks to increase judgment in practice rooms and quick tournaments, and simply introduce games without strategies. So now, I think I should have said already. Start guessing now. And Bubbox is predicting our. That was the wrong graphic. Sorry. I can. If you can bear with me for a moment, I'll change. But Mapbox is predicting ID to win E743, and for challengers NQ once again to lose. Mapbox doesn't seem to like the NQ E7 a lot, isn't it? To lose against Der 1-4. Just wait for a moment here. This is how you can donate to my stream. So once again, let me just change it a little bit. Here we are. ID to win E743 and NQC E7 to lose the 1-4. And now let's get into the match room. Here we are. ID versus E7. Yukon is a map that is relatively heavy oriented, so you will see a lot of heavies though. Most of the action will be centered around the northeastern corner, and in that area there is not a lot of terrain. But then in the far northeastern corner, maybe there are some slopes that you could hold down, and there is that A cap that a lot of clients will be looking forward to getting that. And D cap is it's another cap that the clients want to take using their medium to light, but they do not commit most of the tanks there, because B and C caps are closer to A than they are closer to D, and it's easier to defend. Well, not really though, but you get my point there. When you're committing your forces to B and C, you probably would want to send tanks near A as well. And I think also it's harder to defend near the D area, and you're going to be seeing at least some mediums or lights on this map, because that can be very crucial when it comes to flanking and shutting down tanks from behind. So here we are. Campen will be playing in the T1. Well, we don't know yet, because there are 2 minutes to go, and ID have not readied up yet. With E7, only 5 tanks ready up, so we don't know what's going to happen. But I expect both teams to go relatively heavy and at least one medium or light. We saw Cats working with double T22, and they did really well against HLV, shutting them down with a really good flanking movement from the double T22. ID can be taking double mediums as well, and that can be a good thing to see. But potentially when the other team is taking a lot of heavies, especially the mounts and E100s, that will force ID, if they take 2 mediums, to trade trade much better than E7. But the good thing about taking mediums is that they have really good DPM. So if you can manage to unleash the DPM potential for the medium tanks, then you're in for a treat. E7, however, is going to actually play double T22s by Knock Backwards and Uritard, double Crab Bargains by Ruler and Chromatros with Nitroglycerin in the mouse, and double T125s by Nucky Surprise and Pig Puffins. ID is going for a double T125 potentially by Game and Campen with Active Duty in the Crown Bargain, double Ice 4 by Radioactive and Spartan Sword with Blandy potentially in the T95 E6 and LDS in the AMX50B. T95 E6 is very interesting choice, really good mobility, but the problem is the accuracy on the move is really bad. And but then when you aim fully, I think it has better accuracy than T125, so it's like a give or take. That T95 E6, although has good mobility, but the moving accuracy is not good, so it's kind of the worst combination. So that's why I won't suggest playing in the T95 E6 particularly during tournaments. But then you have a relatively good gun if it's like 1-to-1, where on the move is really poor accuracy, but when you sit still and aim, then you can be very accurate. Actually we're seeing ID changing stuff up, triple Ice 4s, a 50B double T125 and a Crown Wagen. And stop guessing now. We don't have a lot of people guessing, so that's not good. Remember, it's ID. Right, we are going to see ID, Red Team, North Spawn, E7 Blue Team, South Spawn in the first upper bracket final. This is going to be very exciting to watch, and you see ID now looking to secure that A side with E7 actually going for D and C with the nap backwards and Pink Puffins getting C very quickly. ID looking to put 3 IS4s into B, but E7 will be getting C more quickly than ID does. And Mouse, Nitroglycerin already took a hit, but also Spartan Sword getting tagged by the Crown Vargans. ID has to be really careful here because they do not want to lose unnecessary hit points. They have a hit point pool lead though. They got A more quickly than E7, but E7 will be getting D as well. And it will mean ID has the cap lead now, and E7 is now looking to rotate and shut down the double IS4s though. I think this is a good move from E7, and I think they need to kill off the double IS4s quickly enough before ID is able to respawn and shut them down. The Crown Vargas might be pinced now. Spartan Sword is now a one shot, and he will be killed by Chromatros, with Lanny probably the next tank in line for E7 to focus. Great shots into Lanny, and Chromatros is going to go down very quickly onto ID's forces. Chromatros trying his best to stay alive as much as he could, but he is taken out by Active Duty. On the other hand, E7 got 3 caps already, and they are now trying to shut down a radioactive nap backwards, and Nuggies and Fries looking to pincer radioactive here. Great shot into radioactive, and now that backwards going to put a great shell radioactive Nuritard. Another great shell. Nuggies and Fries will be looking to kill off radioactive. On the other hand, 7 Ruler is now one shot. Is be killed by LDS with Nitroglycerin, and Pink Puffins looking to shut down Nally here. But look at Camp and also actively trying to shut down the T22s. The hit points are still with the ID, but the cap points are now with E7 here. And Yuri Tart bumps into the wood slacks. Not really good driving skills here, but that backwards tracks. But he's trying to run away. He's looking to kill off LDS, and there's a big ram happening there. LDS and Yuri Tart losing 200 hit points for that ram, and LDS makes a good show, and Yuri Tart is now 4 versus 3. Active Duty is now under a lot of focus. Pink Puffin shot LDS instead, so that's not good focus fire right here from E7, but Active Duty is now one shot Pink Puffins. A high row could do the job. And it's going to be Hyro here. Activity now dead. Nuggies and Fries now dead. Great ramp from Nitroglycerin onto Gayam. And Pink Puppet's looking to shut down Gayam here. But though he's going to run away, Nitroglycerin is going to left in the open. Pink Puppets, can he survive for long enough? While trying to run away here, E7 still has 3 caps compared to ID with only 1. And Pink Puffins is looking to survive as long as he could, but Campen, he will shut down Pink Puffins. Is a miss! Oh dear, Gayam is now still one shot. Is now one shot. He will be killed very soon, and Pink Puffins is now down to games. Now 1 versus 3, and ID they still they only still have 1 cap, and Nitroglycerin is now a 2-shot. Great kill onto Gayam here, but time is ticking, and ID cannot afford to bounce, but Campen bounce. And LDS needs to come in, and I think he bounces well. If Nitroglycerin survives, he will win it for E7, but it's not going to be the case. ID won it. The first game goes to ID. Here we are seeing ID 4 tanks do more than 2k, and E7 5 tanks doing more than 2k. Oh my goodness me, that was a really intense beginning. E7 did really well to shut down Ice Force. Great call right here. But I believe the Crown Vargans, they should have moved further in to go past through B, because they became the sorry focus for ID. They responded really well though. ID responded really well, and the extra hit points made all the difference. The T22 tried their best to unleash the DPM, but Matt backwards unable to put a dent into ID's campaign here. And at the moment, it's now 1-0 to ID. Here we are, Yukon, we are seeing ID now going with no mediums or lights, and that can be bad. But you know, APA could do it without any mediums or lights. ID could do the same. They are also quite a heavy-oriented team. They're going with quadruple IS-4s, double crab wagons in the mouse, very low DPM, and E7 a lot more DPM, and they have to make use of that and to put shells into ID's forces, and it's going to be difficult, but they can do it. Oh, hello, Cougar. Hello. Here we are. Let's get up high, shall we? Lester, you're late. Yeah, you're pretty late. ID, red team, south spawn with E7, blue team, north spawn. Alright, so ID, you're seeing the active duty, LD, everyone going into C, but E7 will be getting B very quickly at the start with Nuggies and Fries and Ruler going into B, and they will get hold of D as well with that backwards, going straight into D, and he's trying to run away if ID's spotted up Nat backwards here, and I think ID are looking to make a big push onto Nat backwards here. Oh, I think Nat backwards might be in big trouble. Urital puts a great shell into the ID's IS-4s here. I do think they could take out Nat backwards now. Great shot into game here. Triple tap onto game, and now Spartans also receive a hit there. E7 is trying to defend, and they're doing it really nicely. Pink Puppets, however, is really far forward, so he has to be really careful here. And looking at LDS and Campus now looking to try to shut down Pink Puppets and Nuggies and Fries. That means Nitro Geyser and Alex and Ruler needs to come in to shut down the IS-4s here, and I think the IS-4 is going to be the soaring focus for E7, and Campbell will be going down very quickly here, 3 versus 2, and LDS is the tank that E7 will be ignoring right now, with Campbell now a one-shot. The T-22's Yurita is trying to run away. He's taken a lot of hits from ID, and he's down to Spartan Sword. The hit points is still in favor of ID, but Spartan Sword is going to go down very quickly here, and a great shot from Ruler will do the job. But it's a bounce from Spartan Sword onto Ruler, and Nuggies and Fries will be putting a great shot, but it's a bounce as well. T's now getting captured by ID, and looking at E7, they're trying to focus their mouse. Oh no, they're going to try to focus Lanny. I think that's the right call, and Nuggies and Fries kills off Spartan Soul. That leaves Ruler now getting focused by 2 tanks. Radioactive looking to go for Pink Puffers now. Lanny is a one-shot. LDS still surviving despite all the odds here with Lanny now dead. LDS now dead. It's now 3 versus 6. The guns are in favor of E7. That backwards is now dead as well. But Game and Active Duty are both relatively healthy with Radioactive now. The next focus for E7, and ID's trying to pincer. They're trying to flank the double crab wagons. They have turned their attention. No, they have not turned their attention. They try to finish Radioactive as soon as he could, but I think Nuggies and Fries needs to move in to support their teammates here in the active duty. 3 shells in his clip. He can absolutely take out Ruler here. Another great shot into Ruler. Games now killed. Active duty is the last person standing with Ruler bouncing that shot onto active duty. Well done to E7. That was the textbook defensive strategy from them. Great reaction, great focus fire, and great job isolating tanks. They're trying to push shells into active duty with Nuggies and Fries dropping the reactive armor, which is not necessary because, you know, you're going to... And he's going to drop the speed boost as well. Where is your other speed boost, by the way? And active duty is now killed. Hello, Maldox, how are you doing? Here we are, we have 3 tanks doing more than 2k for ID and E7, 5 tanks doing more than 2k. Here we are. Then we are now on to Fort Despair. ID versus E7 it is. ID, we're seeing quadruple IS-4s by Campen, Gabe and Landy, and Spartan Sword. Active duty, the Crown Vaga, Radioactive, T110, E5 and LDS in the mouse. E7, they're also going for 7 heavies with triple Ice Force, triple Ice Force by Knack Backwards, Yuri Todd, and Nuggets and Fries. Nitroglycerin in the mouse. Pink Puffins to the T57 Heavy, however. No, 50 Bs. Double Crown Bargains by Ruler and Alex. No, triple Crown Bargains by Ruler, Alex, and Pink Puffins. Can you make up your mind, Pink Puffins? Otherwise, you're going to be eaten by me. So here we are. This game. And only 10 seconds left to go. We will be finding out for despair. ID versus E7. 7 heavies versus 7 heavies. Hiya! No mediums or lights. Hiya! Come on. Why no mediums or lights? It's so bad. I think both teams will lose in this situation. It's totally unacceptable that none of the teams here is taking the medium or lights here. Why are you doing this to me? Come on. Nah, I'm getting so salty. I'm getting so salty about the lack of mediums or lights from both teams because really, why? I mean, feel for despair, however, though. A map that is perceptionally small and also a map that is red, it was quite flat, and especially you don't have to rotate too far, and it doesn't take too long to rotate from one side to the other with a heavy tank. So this is why teams going for full heavy setup with ID. Looking to branch out a bit with E7 looking to focus their guns onto me. Camp and Sported, Yuri Tart, Pink Buffers, all 4 tanks from E7 are spotted going into B. Great shots into Nuggets and Fries, great crossfire into Camp one. And Rule is looking to take that hold down position to work his turret armor out, with Campen now down to 1,699 hit points here. Rule is looking to put shells into Lanny here, and that's really good. On the other hand, Nat backwards trying to get some angles to work with, and this is looking really promising for E7. They're training a lot better than ID at the moment, and ID is now looking to make a push. Rule is now the first tank down, and Camp is going to be the focus for E7. It's now descended into Pandemonium with Alex trying to shut down Campen, and he's going to do it, isn't it? It's going to be the case. Lanny's also killed, with Nuggets and Friends also killed. It's now 5 versus 5. The Pink Puffers looking to reload, but the Crown Vargans have really low DPM, and hit points is still in favor of E7, but not by much. Hit points are now neck and neck. Radioactive is now a bit low, but Yuri's Heart is going to be the next time out for E7 with that backwards joining. And they're looking to shut down. Radioactive is now a one-shot killed by Pink Puffins. Yuri Tot is now killed. And Nitroglycerin is still really healthy, but Pink Puffins is going to go down to ID very quickly. ID has done a tremendous job in making a comeback here. And Activity is going to be the next focus for E7 backwards. And Nitroglycerin looking to put a shell into active duty. And Pink Puffins, great first shell. But Knack backwards. That was a bounce right here. Great kill on the active duty. And Pink Puffins is still has managed to survive for a great amount of time, and he's going to stay behind to reload his shell here. Alex now has 3 shells in this clip. It's going to put the first shell into a Spartan Sword. Great shell here. Could have rammed into game, and Natbat was kills off Spartan Sword. Alex wasted that shell right here. Nitroglycer is now one shot, and they are now looking for game, ignoring the mouse totally, except for Pink Puffins, where he's staying safe and trying to put shells there. And LDS needs to put a great shell. 80 shell couldn't kill off LDS. I mean Nitroglycerin, but in the end it did. And now Nat backwards and Alex looking to shut down game, and hit points are now in favor of E7. And Alex is trying to reload his clip probably. A great shot from Nat backwards into game. And Alex looking to put that shell into game. And Pink Puffins is now really low. Oh, Alex drove some poor driving skills here. Rammed into LDS. Great shot into game. And now ID's looking to shut down Nat backwards here. Ignoring Pink Puffins completely. Pink Puffins, ID unable to shut it down. I think that will be very, very costly indeed with Alex not killing LDS, but it's knocked backwards. That is the one killing the mouse here. Game's looking to shut down Nap backwards, and he does, but it's now down to a 2-shot. Peng Puffins can put his first shell into Game, and Alex is still really healthy. Great shot into Game. Game kills off Peng Puffins. Now 1 versus 1, and Alex kills off Game. It's now 2-1, and it's game on. 5 feather passes. This is. Wow. I mean, both teams did really well. Focus Fire, E7, very great Focus Fire right here. ID is also not far behind. I think they were forced to push onto E7. I think that last ditch effort was brilliant indeed. But they lost this game pretty much when they did not kill Peng Puffins, allowing him to do almost 5,000 damage with 3 kills. Had ID killed off Peng Puffins right here, I think it could have gone a lot differently. And it's really those kind of little mistakes that can become really large, just like the Lorenz attractor, where very small perturbation will introduce very different outcomes. And now it's going to be a second game on Fort Despair. Frozen doesn't mind the battle pass. Good attitude here. I love your attitude, Frozen. Don't care about the battle passes. Care more about the teams here. Support them. If so, I'm going to actually rally your support. If you're supporting ID, say it in the chat. If you're supporting E7, also say it in the chat. And let's get some hype for both teams, shall we? And we're on to the second game of Fort Despair. It's going to be really tense indeed, and I'm living for it. Both teams are very good, and E7 looking a lot better as the season goes on, and they're looking more and more like contenders for the Asia server, and ID is also not far behind, so potentially both teams would be in the grand final. Hello Sponge, how are you doing? What? Kraken? I want to say you're wrong on this, sorry. Mediums are really good on mediums are not bad on this map. Well, I mean, sorry, Peng Puffins is Muffins, same thing. I like muffins though, so don't mind me about that. Both of them sported. Ooh, not backwards. This getting not backwards took a hit trying to get into C. But they could not reset it again. Will they be able to reset it once again? It's all to LES. Great shell onto that backwards reset that, but couldn't put any damage. Oh, but E7 is now looking to make a big push onto LDS. They're now pushing onto the mouse. That would mean I will make him respawn to the double mouses here. But Alex and Peng Puffins are there to give cross shots into ID, trying to rush into the mouse. Great positioning right here. Radioactive so far behind right here, and I think now E7 now needs to make a move potentially. They're now looking to go for Radioactive. I think that is a good call. 2 tanks onto 1, that would do the job. And Nuggies and Fries trying to hold as long as he could, but Gale is the stray cat here. He's still really healthy, but he's there to shut down Nuggies and Fries. And Nuggies and Fries is now really low. It's now down to 1 shot, killed by Game. They need to kill off Game as soon as possible with Nat backwards and Radioactive now. 1 versus 1 here. Ruler has now joined. Gamma is trying to shut down LDS. Gamma puts a great shell but then he almost reloaded his clip, so that I think would not be good for him at all. Alex, speed boost, and he will be killing. No, it's a track shot right here, not good indeed. But Radioactive is now dead. So many fights happening on different angles. LDS, no, Alex kills off game with active duties. Now going to be a one shot as well. And Spartan Sword is still really healthy, but Nitro Glycerin puts the wrong shell onto the wrong tank. And active duty is now dead with Pink Puffins. 3 versus 1 against 1 Ice 4 with Camper now also dead. Ruler is also dead. Now 5 versus 3. Gamma is looking to put shells into LDS, but did he bounce right here? I don't think so. But good shell into LDS. Nat backwards looking for Lanny here. And it's now going to be 3 versus 5. And this is looking really, really strong for E7 at the moment with Spartan Sword now dead. Lanny's trying to use the speed boost to run away from the situation, but Gamma is going to put a great shell into LDS. And Lanny is going to put a shell into Nat backwards. Great shell into LDS by Nat backwards with Nitro Glycerin getting B. But it's not going to be important because now E7, they are very, very close to killing all 7 tanks with LDS now killed. That will leave ID, Lanny, the last person standing, and put E7 onto match point. Well done to E7. This is really good stuff from E7 and ID, but the focus fight this time, both teams aren't doing that well as the last game. But the winning move from E7, really the positioning. And the E5s, they have crossfire into the mouse of ID trying to rush the mouse, and unfortunately ID kind of fell into the trap here, and E7 trying to rush the mouse, and they also have that T125 really active far behind. Could have farmed a lot of, could have farmed some damage, but that tank didn't meet a lot of tanks in there, to be honest with you. So really E7 not allowing ID to push the mouses, and I mean, they did push the mouse in the end, but they lost a lot of hit points doing that, and that means E7 is really dominant here. 5 tanks doing more than 2k. ID only 2 tanks doing more than 2k. Hello. We are now onto Dynasty's Pearl with triple Ice Force by Campion, Gaev, and Spartan Sword. Double Mouse by Active Duty and LDS. Double T125s by Lanny and Radioactive. E7 is going with Double Ice Force by Nat backwards and Ruler. Gamma T22, Nitro Glycerin in the mouse. Double Crown by Alex and Pink Puffins. And Nuggies and Fries in T125. I'm sorry. Oh my gosh. I'm sorry if I assume. What's the gender? What's the pronouns for Pink Puffins though? Because someone saying Pink Puffins is a male, and someone saying Pink Puffins is a female. And now someone's saying Pink Puffins is an it. So which one's the right one? What is going on? I saw Pink Puffins is a girl. I don't know if it's right, but you're just assuming that that eating is only for eating. You can eat both female and male, and other gender as well. So genders as well. Don't say. But here we go. ID is going for 2 tanks on A here. Great start to ID, but I like that E7 has some medium tank, so I think E7 is going to win this one. I think he will do a lot of damage. Mark my words, with A now getting captured, Spartan Sword's taking a hit. Hammond's also taking a hit as well. With the ID, they're looking to get C now. Gamma is in the T22 driving pass through the fountain. ID has a cap lead, but E7 doesn't, and they have to be the one to make the rotation. Great shot into LDS, and E7 has to do that well with chipping away the hit points of ID. And great shot into Spartan Sword, and we are seeing E7 not getting C at all. I don't know why, but it's really weird. Campen's taking some more hits, but I think E7 really wants to get a cap though, because if they don't, that means they will have trouble when they want to kill tanks. Oh, but out of nowhere, IS4s are now getting B as well. They're doing the Lambda, but will ID be able to reset B? No, not at all, not even a single shell. And that means ID would be down in terms of caps in a minute probably. And Activity again is looking to push onto E7, and ID is looking to make an instant rotation into E7. Now E7 is now regrouping and is now trying to get a good defensive setup, with the LDS now looking to go for B, and that would mean E7 would not be getting a cap lead with 2 caps, and Spartan Sword also looking to go for B, and E7's looking to make a rotation on the other side, not backwards, and Gamma. Oh, I think this is going to be interesting. Will they be able to kill off Camp and landing quickly enough? Spartan Sword is going to be quite low. E7 trying their best to reset ID's tanks here. Nitroglycerin coming in to shut down Spartan Sword. The hit points are now in total favor of E7, and Gamma bounced onto LDS with Camper now going to be an isolated tank here, and he puts a great shot to Nitroglycerin here. B is now finally captured by ID, but huge cost here, with E7 now 2 vs 2 on the C side, and Camp and Gamma looking to looking to get shut down by Gamma. Nitroglycerin is going to put a shell into Camp and Nuggies and Fries. Great shell to Camp is on fire, and he's going to be taken out by fire. It is no, just 4 hit points left, and Gamma bounced that shell with Nuggies and Fries looking to put a shell into LDS here. It's a bounce though, but Laddie's killed. Campen's also killed, but the hit points still in favor of E7. But ID has all 3 caps. So E7 has to hurry up in killing off the tanks, and ID just need to get the focus right. With Radioactive now dead, Activity is going to be a 2-shot now. And that will leave Game the last person standing. Definitely, that means E7 are through to the grand final on the Asia server. And ID will be joining Feast in the lower bracket final. Congratulations to E7 here, and they deserve to go through, and this is it for E7. They will be at least getting $1,400 and ID. They need a response against Feast, and you see ID 4 tanks do more than 2k, and E7 6 tanks do more than 2k, and Gamma in that T22 did really well there. 2 kills and a lot of damage, and really good hit damage sharing from E7. That means every single tank is important. Apart from that, I think that is a big noob here. So I would say, you know, I blame Matt. I blame Nat for not winning 7-0 against ID here. So that you're wanted. So good job to E7, and we will wait for a long while until our next match. So I think we can absolutely analyze the matches. Yes, the maps are quite heavy. Yes, Yukon, Dynasty's Pearl, and also Fort Despair are all heavy maps. Amongst one of the most heavy maps. So. China best of 11, best of 15. What? do we have results for Mapbox jinxed ID here? So well done, Mapbox. And NQE7 against her. 4-1 against her. Dear me. Mapbox doesn't want to give up and jinxing teams facing against NQE7 and it did again. Now it's going to be Der versus ECG in the lower bracket final. Okay, so you know what? I'm going to take a little break and then I'll be back and we will start analyzing matches here. So watch the trailer then. E7 was formed by a group of friends during Top in 2018. Most of the members have retired, but the clan was kept alive by a few people. They play the game for fun and they try to make things easy. However, they are not scared to go out of their comfort zone and try new. Maybe during Professionals tournament, we will get to see 7 Batch Hat 25T strategy again. Their best result is second in Twister 2019. The team has an average age of 20 years old. Most of them are students and some work part-time. They have no expectations coming into this season and they ban everyone who attempts to jinx their games by calling it a victory before the games even started. I am very sure they will ban me sooner or later. Players come from Australia, Cambodia, India, Malaysia, New Zealand and Singapore. E7 may not have a lot of games streamed this. They try to get a cap lead at the very start of the game using cleanest strategies. This allows the other team to work away to regain lead, but E7 makes sure it is difficult to regain the cap lead. Usually, E7 gets very aggressive at the start. They may continue to push through if they discovered isolated tanks. They are assassins and you want to steer clear from them as much as possible. Right now, you're seeing, and I think that last game was just really good job from I think last game was just good response by E7. I thought Cats had it, but they just made a good response, like what happened to Uppershot where they got trapped horrendously. Obviously they also have more space to work with, but now Cat's going very quick on C, with B now getting carried, and A is also getting captured by Cat as well. The struggle is where it really is, and A is now going to be captured, and it's going to be A, B, C, and D. Oh, some shots going into the T125s. E7 doesn't want to drop unnecessary hit points, but Eyelion, no, it's to carry some hit points as well. And here we go. TP, they're ready. I think they're doing some fighting strategy. I don't think those T22 medium might want to go to double mouse right there though. Might be looking for some shots. Because his iPad would die, and that would not be good news in the where it's very, very important for both teams. But E7 are now piling up pressure. But the hit points, the cap points are with Cats right now, but I think E7 might be able to apply good amount of pressure, and I think the TVPs are now in some sort of trouble. They want to make the spawn basing strategy work, but I don't think it has so far worked out for them. And I think these TVPs are going to go down very, very quickly. Rejecting Manatee's tracked, it is not good news for them. The hit points are still with E7 right now, I mean, Cats, but they're going to lose Hermes very quickly. Meanwhile, Cats need to kill a tank right here. The T110E5 is dropping to reactive armor. Hermes is now dead. Eyeline in, but he is really low as well. Roses are Rosie is now killed by Cats, and Cats still with a hit point pool lead. But this is still really close to rejecting Manatee is now very, very low. They're looking for Nuggies. Kudyun took some really big HE shot from behind. And with Nuggies now dead, they're looking for Knacked backwards. If they take out that T22 as well, that would be important. But they also lost TVP already, and now the TVP also lost. But Hello BB is looking for that backwards, and now hit points are still in favor of Cats. Still really close to go. Hello BB with that bounce. Oh no, this is not good. Hello BB needs to put that shell in. You cannot bounce into that into the T22. He kills off that T22, but he's still really healthy. And Lucario is looking to reload his full clip here. He's looking for Chromatros apparently, but that mouse is blocking. So I think he might want to go for Parabola instead, but Parabola kills off Kudyun. Oh my goodness me. Cats do not have the hit point pool advantage. Well, still has a hit point advantage, but they do not have caps. So all they need to do, they need to kill off tanks right now. But this is looking grimmer and grimmer at the point. I think E7 are on the cusp of winning this one. Hello, maybe on the ammo rack, but he fixed it very, very quickly. And oh my god, Alex now killed. iCars is looking to put a shell into Parabola, but it's a bounce. Oh, hello, baby. Needs to capture C. With iCars now dead, surely they can't win this one right now. Cats winning 3-1 at the start, only to lose 3 wins consecutively, meaning it's going to be Cats joining the lower bracket finals. They will be facing PGMT and an internal rivalry. E7, huge congratulations. I think that ammo rack, if it is not an ammo rack, that kill on that T110E5 is what changed the fate of E7 right here. Oh, here we are. Mapbox has predicted the results for the next matches. ID is predicted to make a comeback here, winning Feast 4-3. ECG is predicted to win against Dur 4-3 as well. So will it be the case here for both teams? We'll find out soon in the round at half an hour actually. So I'm just going to double check whether that it is 10 past, not any time else. Yep, it is the 10 past. And going to load the game, and then we do it. Oh my goodness, a best of 15. This is insane. Oh dear. That's too long. That's definitely too long. You got it's really a testament to your to your stamina, and I think really it's can make your schedule quite unpredictable, I must say. So it's not a good idea at all. ABC tournaments, yes. Spartan, yes. That would die, and that would. Okay, let's analyze the second game of Fort Despair. ID versus E7. Really great game there. So let's actually watch what you could learn from this of ID. So let's start. Here we go. And I have to lower not 1080p. That is going to kill my stream, so let's do it in this way. Mediums are really good on mediums are not bad on this map. Well, I mean, sorry, pink puffins is muffins, same thing. I like muffins though, so don't mind me about that. Both of them. Usually this spot is taken by a medium to get spots on, but now T125 can also work in this area where you could really hold down using the barrier in front of you. Let's continue. And it's really about Fort Despair, the B and C cap, where if you can get the cap lead on one of them, that would be really good. A cap lead on capping B would be the best though, because it's the easiest to reset of compared to C, where C you can kind of side scrape. Well, maybe I can show you what it means by that with an IS-7, because that's the only heavy tank I have in tier 10. So I'm going to actually go show you on Fort Despair what it means that you could actually decap C right here. Where is the map? I can't find Fort Despair. Oh come on. Have they removed Fort Despair from the training room? Oh, there we go. Here we are. Got it. And let's do it from north and south and show you here. Oh no, yes. It is. Hello Kyosho, how are you doing? Are you still crying? Let me know, that would be really good. But when I talk about C, where you can really side scrape and get a cap, and this is really the thing you can use to side scrape. Yep. So from the north side, yeah, something around like that. If you can kind of adjust your tank better, that you could do something like that and get C cap. Okay. On the other side, though, I think it's even better. So you can absolutely go for this. But E7 is through, so there will be no more games played from them later this evening. So you can side scrape around this kind of building here, and then you can briefly make a cap stop. On the other hand, you could just what you could do as well is to line your tank parallel to the walls of this building here. Briefly cap it for a few seconds. Pull out when you have to cap it once again. Do make sure when you do a cap stop, you're stopping the other team from getting capped. So when you're saying when we are talking about around 5 to 10 cap points of difference here, you can absolutely go into here into 2 seconds, pull out, and you get the cap once again, and you can then defend and force the enemies out of their defensive positions and start to make a move. Okay, so let's continue to watch this game. Spotted. Ooh, not backwards. This guy, not backwards took a hit, trying to get into C, but they could not reset it again. Will they be able to reset it once again? It's all to LES. Great shell onto that backwards reset that, but couldn't put any damage. Oh, but E7 is now looking to make a big push onto LDS. They're now pushing onto the mouse. That would mean I will make him respawn to the double mouses here. But oh, look at this right here. ID E7. I'm going to do it in blue. E7 is trying to push LDS through here. That means LDS might be in a little bit of trouble. There is also T125 behind, and ID they have to make him respawn, so otherwise LDS would die. Yeah, so they have to do something. You might think going into here is it's the choice you want to make, because these two mouses are isolated, but remember, they are mouses. You should not focus them at the start when you're trying to make a respawn, because the mouses they have a lot of damage. They will buy time for E7 to make a rotation on the other side. So if I were ID, however, because Pink Puffins and Alex, look at this area, they're going to farm ID for days, yeah? So you don't want to go there. You want to instead, if I were ID, some tanks stay here, divert these tanks, shut down E7 tanks, support LDS. I don't say that often, but usually don't support the mouse. But in this case, if you rush the mouse forces, you're just getting into crossfire from both Alex and Nat backwards. So ID, I think this is a good case for you guys to actually rush the Gamma, and instead I think that would be a better choice rather than to getting farmed by those T125s. If I can also show you in the game why that is the case, I'm just going to rotate my IS-7 into this position. Next game is Feast vs ID. And this is a position. Okay, so if I can now show you here. Yep, look at this. You absolutely farm ID for days. Yeah, the position is really great overview. So you don't really want to push the mouse in this situation. So let's continue to watch. Alex and Pink Puffins are there to give cross shots into ID trying to rush into the mouse. Great positioning right here. Really active so far behind right here, and I mean, like ID kind of hesitate at this moment. I mean, also if you want to go and rush through here, that will also work, because you can shut down the tanks that are in the crossfire, and that infiltration could mean the T125s will become isolated. Ignore the mouses still, but you can take out the T110E5s, and that means then when the T110E5s are eliminated, can go into pincer mouse forwards and backwards, and that means you can still have LDS to hold there as long as they could. Radioactive probably could also do the job, farming these tanks, being hesitant, but ID could do a lot of things with tanks rotating through B and to shut down the T110E5s. So I would say ID, there are two different methods. Actually, I think the method you're seeing here that I just mentioned might be the better call in the end, because I think the T110E5s think they are the most dangerous tanks in this game, so they need to be taken out, so that could work better. I think now E7 now needs to make a move potentially. They're now looking to go for radioactive. I think that is a good call. 2 tanks onto 1, that would do the job. And Nuggies and Fresh trying to hold as long as he could, but Gale is the stray cat here. He's still really healthy, but he's there to shut down Nuggies. Yeah, they tried to shut down Nuggies and Fries, but I would have gone for the probably to distract the T110E5's attention first. And yeah, Nuggies and Fries, I think you don't need like 5 onto 1. Absolutely, they can do the job with only 4 tanks or even 3. So let's continue. And Fries, and Nuggies and Fries is now really low. It's now down to 1 shot, killed by Game. They need to kill off Game as soon as possible with Nat backwards and radioactive now. 1 versus 1 here. Ruler has now joined. Gamma is trying to shut down LDS. Gamma puts a great shell, but then he almost reloaded his clip, so that I think would not be good for him at all. Alex, speed boost, and he will be killing. No, it's a track shot right here, not good indeed. But radioactive is now dead. So many fights happening on different angles. LDS, no, Alex kills off Game with active duties. Now going to be a 1-shot as well. And Spartan Soul is still really healthy, but Nitro Glycer puts the wrong shell onto the wrong tank. So I mean, in this situation is pretty much focus fire right here, and E7 radar positioning with those T110E5s is the main reason why they have won this one. Active duty is now dead with Pink Puffers 3 versus 1 against 1 Ice 4 with Camper now also dead. Ruler is also dead. Now 5 versus 3. Gamma is looking to put shells into L. So at this point, E7 still not totally. Well, I mean they're now double the hit points, so I mean there's nothing more we could talk about in this game. And let's continue analyzing. We still have so much time, so let's go for this. I know it's wrong. It should be ID left side, E7 the other side. We are looking at Dynasty's Pearl next. I saw Pink Puffins as a girl. I don't know if it's right, but you're just assuming that that eating is only for eating. You can eat both female and male and other gender as well. So genders as well. Not the same. But here we go. ID is going for 2 tanks on A here. Great start to ID, but I like that E7 has a medium tank, so I think E7 is going to win this one. I think he will do a lot of damage. Mark my words, with A now getting captured, Spartan Sword is taking a hit. Hammond's also taking a hit as well. With the ID, okay, so this one ID got a cap lead on A, and E7 doesn't have a cap lead. They want to go for a cap at least. C is not difficult to get, so and the tanks are spotted as well. So absolutely, ID knows where they are. So getting C, I don't think ID are in position to get C. So go for C. Always good thing to have a good to have a really small cap deficit. And that would mean that killing 1 tank would swing your advantage to you by quite a margin there. So absolutely go for a cap, and as soon as possible after the other team got it. So so at least you're able to make it close in caps in the end when you have to do the rotation. Looking to get C now. Gamma is in the T22 driving pass through the fountain. ID has a cap lead, but E7 doesn't, and they have to be the one to make the rotation. Great shot into LDS, and E7 has to do that well with chipping away the hit points of ID. And great shot into Spartan Sword, and we are seeing E7 not getting C at all. I don't know why, but it's really weird. Campen's taking some more hits, but I think E7 really wants to get a cap though, because if they don't, that means they will have. I mean, now at this point, ID is leading by more than 100 cap points, and this is not looking good for E7. On the other hand, ID, they need to reset B, but they don't really absolutely need to do it, because they have so much hit points, cap points to overcome, and they also, well, I mean, they don't have a lot of hit points. They don't have the hit point advantage though, so I think they have to reset B. But if not, they can absolutely go use the mouses. They have double mouse, go into B, cap it back, and rotate on the other side. I think it's not that not that hard to get in the end, but absolutely E7 trying their hands on B. Very bold call, but also playing to the fact that ID is not well positioned to reset B totally. We have trouble when they, I mean, you're seeing these tanks, this kind of platform here, and the buildings here would shield the IS force from trying to cap into B. So let's continue to watch. Kill tanks. Oh, but out of nowhere, IS force are now getting B as well. They're doing the Lambda, but will ID be able to reset B? No, not at all, not even a single shell. And that means ID would be down in terms of caps in a minute probably. And Activity and Games looking to push onto E7, and ID is looking to make an instant rotation into E7. Now E7 is now regrouping, and is now trying to get a good defensive setup, with the LDS now looking to go for B, and that would mean E7 would not be getting a cap lead with 2 caps. But now what E7 did really well is that they also made a rotation there, but they have to be really careful though, because they have three pockets of isolation. So if I decides to go for immediately like this way, kill off these tanks, and then it's not good at all. While A, however, might be captured, but if they get B and C, and after killing off these tanks, I should do it in red. Yep, after killing off these tanks, they can absolutely go and shut down these tanks here. So as for E7, they have to be really quick, and Lenny and also the other heavy tanks need to make a move quickly, and I think that could work for ID, while E7 needs to make sure that doesn't happen, and these tanks needs to work quickly to shut them down and their backside down. So this is going to become a brawl fest, and really depends on which team is able to come in first and shut down the tanks, and ID where they can be decisive and shut down isolated pockets of E7 tanks. So let's continue. And Spartan Sword also looking to go for B, and E7's looking to make a rotation on the other side, not backwards, and Gamma. Oh, I think this is going to be interesting. Will they be able to kill off Campen and landing quickly enough? Spartan Sword, as you can see, E7 did really well to stop Campen and his companion in T110 E5 to go and support ID, and I think ID, their hesitation to push forward and shut down isolated tanks could be the reason why they lost this game. So if ID discovered the pockets of isolation, in my opinion, they would have fared a lot better. It's going to be quite low. E7 trying their best to reset ID's tanks here. I mean, look at E7 now. I think it's too late. E7 has now made a push to shut down tanks on B, And losing 2 tanks and now down by more than 2,000 hit points, it's really pretty much over for ID now here. Guys are coming in to shut down Spartan Sword. The hit points are now in total favor of E7. And Gamma bounced onto LDS with Camper now going to be an isolated tank here. And he puts a great shot of the Nitroglycerin here. Beast now finally captured by ID, but huge cost here. With E7 now 2 vs 2 on the C side. And Campen Gamma looking to get shut down by Gamma. Nitroglycerin is going to put a shell into Campen. Nuggies and Fries. Great shell into Campen. Campen's on fire and he's going to be taken out by fire. It is no, just 4 hit points left and Gamma bounced that shell with Nuggies and Fries looking to put a shell into LDS here. It's a bounce though, but Laddie's killed. Campen's also killed, but the hit points at this point, really, ID got all 3 caps. That's really good. They need to try to stay alive as much as they could, but really hit points are really out against them. And they have LDS and radioactive very low. Activity is going to go down soon, and Game is still really healthy, but I don't think he's going to last for long. ID versus Feast is going to be in around 8 minutes. Still in favor of E7. But ID has all 3 caps. So E7 has to hurry up in killing off the tanks, and ID just need to get the focus right. With Radioactive now dead, Activity is going to be a 2-shot now. And that will leave Game the last man standing, and this is it. Really great job from E7. I think more to do with ID. I think they really didn't notice the dire situation they are in this one. Okay, so now start guessing now. And I will say stop before the first game starts. Alright. So I'll wait for 2 more minutes until the room invite is up. Here we go. So once again, if you're new to this, this is the old one. The new prediction is this: ID 4-3 against Feast and ECG 4-3 against Derp. Who it be the case, we will find out. And these are the ways that you could donate to my channel. And here we are, final stage, lower bracket final. Group stage has already finished. We are now on to the final stage. Best of 7 here now, and the grand finals will be best of 9. The format is double elimination knockout stage for both stages. The bracket is seeded according to the Cup's leaderboard ranking, and the final stage upper bracket first round seeding is as follows. And next, the monetary prize pool, ID and Feast will be looking to secure at least 2,100 US dollars, but one of them will only take home with 700 US dollars. And the maps for this game would be Desert Sands, Alpenstadt, Faust, and Camp Stier. And tomorrow is the grand final, and after tomorrow I can finally get some good sleep. I still have the NA challenges to go through though, and it will start in around 5 minutes, so the room should be up. This is the Feast roster with Bifrost as the captain of the team. We also have F Silver, Roadblock, Z Park, Hidden Surprise, Sugar Bugu, Mr. Gurr, James, Sleepy Lion Hong Kong, and Winter Fox, with ID Campbell as the captain of the team. Active Beauty, Landy, Arrowpath, Last of Me, Game On You, LDS Spartan Sword, and Radioactive. So let's get into the room now. Hunky, you can't do that. You can't guess within the range. Right. Okay. So Feast is going with Triple Bounce by Hidden Surprise, Z Park, and Shigemugu. Triple T125s by Bifrost, Nick, and James. I won't fall into that trap, sorry, Feast. F Silver in the Vegas Lights and ID. I know I shouldn't be laughing at that, but ID is going with Campen and Game and Double IS4. A Death Star by Lanny potentially. Activity in the T125 and Spartan Sword in that 215B. Hunky One saying they will do 1600 damage. 16,000 damage. Yes, my mind is really bad today because you know I streamed any challenges last night, so you know my mind's still not fully functional at the moment. And you can hear from my speech as well, I was not as hyped as the previous streams, particularly the E stream was very hyped. But Roblox is on the subs bench. Sion Kun is going to be streaming this as well, but no sign of Bing Ling, to be honest with you. You also have to mention your username and your server region. You only have 2 minutes to guess the amount of damage that is put out by all 7 tanks of Feast in the second game, not this game you're seeing, the second game. And if you have won the battle pass, please give the chances to others, please. And ID. However, because there are no mods there to help me compile the list, so that means I will only you would see the updated list after the stream. So I'm sorry about that. Alright, so finally, Feast. I'm not sure if that's the right call here. Desert Science is not a heavy map, and Triple Bounce is definitely a very weird call. They could only play in, well, I mean, you can play in the Desert Side, we saw that with G game, but it's really hard because the terrain is really bad for the mouses, and you also have the stability. If you have to rotate, the mouses would go really slowly. The Dune is going to provide a lot of cover as well. So with ID going with Game in the T22, I think Feast is trying to do a counter strat against ID. That looks like it. So triple T125s by Bifrost, Mr. Gurr, James Bond. Triple Mouse by Hidden Surprise, Z Park, and Shigemugu. And F Silver is in the Vickers Light. ID is going with Campen and Lanny, and I don't know what. Campen, Lanny, and LD is Triple Ice for Kranwagen Active Duty, T22 by Game, and Triple T125 by Radioactive and Spartan Sword. Thank you very much. Stain, please use the spreadsheet. I hope. Great. There we go. At least Stain is there. So please use the spreadsheet I've provided you there. It will help you a lot. And also do it for the first game. See the chat logs as well. Sorry if you do. You're not going to see the some of the games though. But A is going to be captured by both Spartan Sword and Game. And that would give ID the cap lead at the start. With Feast looking to go really passively, but the Mouses, they're so tall. Some cross shots from ID was put into these Kramwagens. More shots trying to connect into ID, but I think Feast is just going for an Iron Fist onto Campen. Sugar is looking to ram into... No, he's not going to ram into Campen. Look at the focus fire. Hidden Surprise going to ram into Campen, doing 80 damage as a result. A great shot right here, and Campen is the first tank down. ID is now down by hit points, and the triple mouse here, although it's quite novel, it seems to work. Spartan Sword, great shell into Hidden Surprise, but Hidden Surprise going to be low, and the hit points is now neck and neck. Spartan Sword dropped the reactive armor, went into the Mouses here. Z-Part is going to be the focus for ID, with Spartan Sword looking to shut down Hidden Surprise, and it's going to be a tank down for Feast with Z-Part. One shot and killed by active duty, with Spartan Sword getting shut down by Mr. Gurr as well, and it's now 5 versus 5 with Lanny looking for Bifrost. Sugar Moo looking to make a great ram into Lanny here. Bifrost is going to go down to Lanny. Still 1 shot left, and damn, gets Bifrost. It's now 4 versus 5. ID is gradually coming out on top. Their effective DPM could be the main difference here. F Silver is toying around with Radioactive killed by Bond. James Bond. Lanny is killed. No. Oh, the bad HE splash right here should not have been the HE shell, but an AP or APCR, and it could be costly now. Lanny still not killed, with Mr. Gurr killing off Lanny in the end. Game is going to be a next focus for Feast. And Bond, James Bond, is looking to put a shell into Game. Mr. Gurr is looking to do that, and he's the next tank down, and the turret has flown off with Feast. They still have a slight advantage, but activity duties looking to put a shell into Mr. Gurr, and he's down. That leaves 2 versus 2. Hit points still in favor of ID, but F Silver is in the Vickers light. That could be the main difference here. I think he might want to run away and get some caps for Feast. And ID, they now have more than 600 cap points, and James Bond is looking to get into a probably to get a cap stop on ID, but there are only 3 minutes left, 3 minutes and 30 seconds left, so there's still a lot of time for Feast to play for caps. But James Bond's potentially now looking to be shut down by ID, so I think this game will surely go to ID active duty. It's going to land all of his shells into James. But both of them bounce. Once again, another bounce. That could be very costly. F Silver has now joined James in shutting down active duties. Actually, those bounces is now proving to be very costly, with active duty now going to be killed by Bond James Bond. But Gracia on fire as well, with LDS looking to shut down Bond James Bond. Active duty still alive, and F Silver kills off active duty. And ID has now 800 cap points still. Feast, a slight glimmer of hope right here, now totally vanquished, with F Silver now a 2-shot for LDS, and he couldn't really run away in this situation. Both tanks are very close to one another. ID with the cap still, so I think even if F Silver manages to toy around with LDS and gets a time will run out, and it will still be ID, but potentially though, F Silver could be making use of his mobility to circle LDS, and he's playing it really well at the moment here. LDS is still surviving, but F Silver is looking to put another shell into LDS, and it's still really time to call 1 versus 1 ID. 950 cap points. LDS kills off F Silver, and that is a win for ID. And sorry, stop guessing now. Stop. Yes, yes, ID's finally using a medium tank, but I don't. But the triple mouse, I think they did well to shut down Campen, but as I say, too tall, too slow, DPM too low. On desert brawls, it will fall short with ID. I think they kind of focused the mouse as well, so. But they were able to take them out quickly before Feast is able to take tanks out. So that is also another reason why Feast lost this one in LDS, doing almost 6,000 damage and killing 2 tanks. But by no means they are sharing damage well. Only 3 tanks doing more than 2k. And really, Activity and LDS carrying this match for ID, and they have to do better than that. And Feast, I think they are very strong. But maybe using different tanks might have helped their cause. Here we go. You know what, I'm going to check something up and I will be back. Only 10 seconds remaining. I'm not sure if I have enough time. No, I don't have enough time, so wait. That's not a question mark, Kraken. Here we are, Feast, second game on Desert Suns. ID with 18,000 damage and Feast 17,000 hit points. Yeah. F Silver is going to get spots up. They're not going to take mouses this time. They know it's not working. So F Silver is going really aggressive, getting a low spots up, but he has to run away though because ID is going all to desert this time with Feast. Oof. Yeah, I kind of forgot about that. I have to pick a medium tank next time. Sometimes when I'm a bit too tired, just using that IS7, just forgot to change back into a medium or light. With Feast now looking to go for Bifrost. And a lot of action happening around. Active Duty is looking to shut down Bifrost, and Activity is now one shot. It's going to be killed off by Bifrost here, with Bifrost now killed by Campen, and it's now 6 vs 6. All the actions happening around here. F Silver and Shugenbu coming to support Feast forces, and now Lanny is quite low, but Feast is trying to hold as long as they could, but with Mr. Gurr and also James Bond now very low. Lanny is now dead, with Mr. Gurr now killed by Spartan Sword. And big damage into Bond, James Bond, and Spartan Sword is now a 2-shot potentially, and it's now 4 vs 5. Hit point still in favor of ID, but Spartan Sword is now dead, with the F Silver and Sugar Booger now unleashing their DPM potential. Hidden Surprise going to go down, and game is going to go down to Z Park. That is an important killer, in fact, with Radioactive, LDS killing off Hidden Surprise. The next tank Feast is going for will be Campen here. Campen is now in deep trouble. LDS needs to find a good shot, great shot into F Silver by Radioactive, but the focus is now on different tanks, so they need to focus via ID, needs to focus via, and they still have the hit point pool though, but in terms of DPM they don't, so they absolutely need to get the right tanks up. With Campen now dead, it's now 3 vs 2, and it looks like to be Feast with this time. And we're going to be seeing LDS now the focus for Feast. Radioactive is coming from behind, but Sugar Mugu is evading Radioactive, but Radioactive is not going for Sugar Mugu anyway. They're looking for Z Park. And LDS is now one shot. Z Park is now dead. Sugar Mugu kills off LDS, and that leaves Radioactive the last person standing. And that is a really great match from Feast, able to hold on long enough and allow F Silver and Sugar to conserve as many hit points as possible at the end of the game, and ID unable to focus down these two tanks. The DPM of these two tanks have proven to be crucial in Feast win this time. Well done. Here we are. Feast 3 tanks doing more than 2k, and ID 3 tanks doing more than 2k as well. Alright, we are now on to Alpenstadt. So I'm just going to check the amount of damage done by I'm going to actually go back to medium here. And it's no, where is Ucoin? Yes. Okay.
I don't understand what they want from me.
Come on. Here we are. For sure, I'm not sure if you put a prediction before, but if you did put 18,000 damage, then I think you would probably have won the better pass already. F Silver is going into the northwestern corner, and he's going to get a lot of spots in with ID. Not very aggressive at the moment here. Spotted up Campen and Spartan Sword by F Silver. He's going to run away. He's not going to stay there for way too long because otherwise he will be killed. And I don't know about that retro guy, but with Sugar Mugu now capturing C, but ID got A more quickly, so that will give ID the cap lead. And Sugar Mugu capturing C means that they need to do a rotation. They do not have the cap lead. They do not have the hit point pool lead. And ID with no mediums or lights, I think they're going to lose because you must have one medium or light. Joking, okay? I'm just a bit salty with teams not taking a medium or light in any map actually, and Alpenstadt is absolutely one of the maps you want to take a medium or light, to be honest with you. So, oh, I forgot to change. You'll be seeing the mini map so very soon. You know, when I'm getting very tired, I just can't really do function well, and now the mini map is back. Campen spotted, LDS is spotted. And Sugar Mugu spotted. Attention's on Sector 1. Radioactive is also spotted, and now Gayam is also spotted. Everyone is spotted. I am spotted. You are spotted. Cloudy Snow is spotted. Shoebus is spotted. Hunky Warden is spotted. Spartan is spotted. EL is spotted. Retro Guy is spotted. Fisher is spotted. Very alternative way to say hello to all of you guys. So one way to say hello to everyone is you are spotted. So if you want to be called out by me, just say you were just say hi to me, then say you were spotted. Great. So James Bond is now in that position, very aggressive, getting a lot of spots up, and Spartan Sword receiving some hits, and LDS is holding in the mouse. Hidden Surprise is going to surprise ID for trying to go to B. They need to get a cap though. They don't have a cap lead, but they also do not have the hit point lead with Nick putting a great shot into game here, and ID is now getting punished by Feast, but Feast still doesn't have the hit point bullet at the moment though. And we're seeing all the pushes happening around. They're ignoring the mouse at the moment here, but that would mean they might be in the crossfire. They're actually going for LDS though. Z Park puts a great shot into ID, and Mr. Gurr is now in trouble. Hidden Surprise is now dead. I think the focus from Feast is a bit off at the moment here. ID is a lot more consolidated in getting the focus here. Bounces onto Z Park, and Landy is going to put a shell into Z Park there, and it's now 5 vs 6, and ID is leading by more than 1,000, 2,000 hit points, and Mr. Gurr is going to put a great shell into LDS, and F Silver is going to come in to finish LDS with Z Park also dead. Spartan Sword is going to put a shell. I don't think so. He's not going to be able to put a shell. Oh, he's going to put a shell into Silver, but that actually is not good. Oh, Radioactive with that big ram onto James Bond here, but Mr. Gurr is now quite low, and I think he's going to go down soon with an ID now leading in caps and hit points, and Shugen Mugu, despite playing in that T22, couldn't do very much in this situation. And James Bond is going to put some shells. Sugar and Mugu is going to put shells into Spartan Sword, and that tank is now killed with Mr. Gurr killed as well. F Silver is very low in that Vickers Light, and with James Bond dead, ID got 1,000 caps and will be winning the third match. Here we are. Did I say stop guessing? I hope. Here we go. Feast. No, I'm just not. My mind is not doing well. Feast. 4 tags doing more than 2k. ID 4 tags doing more than 2k. But ID came out on top really with punishing Feast forces and focus firing much better than Feast. Feast looks really confused into picking up tanks to focus, and that's important. Campen is our Uthman Josh. Yes, it is. I'm very tired, sorry. My commentary is very bad, and when I'm tired my speech is going to be very slurred, so I'm sorry about that. Now it's going to be a 4th game, and I think I might fall asleep on the Asian stream sooner or later. That is not going to bode well for me on tomorrow's grand final games. I have to be in absolute form. I need that. Did I not? Oh gosh, what have I done here today? It's now 2-1 for ID. Here we are. ID leading by more than 1000 damage with Feast. Almost there, but they still have a Vickers Light, so that could be very important. But they're dropping a T22 because ID last game they don't have a medium light, so I think this is a good choice. But at least they're keeping a medium light. That would mean they would still have a lot of information with F7 going straight into A. Because Feast knows that ID is not taking a heavy tank, so that means capturing. Feast will get a cap lead this time, and ID trying their best to get into C, but it's too long, taking them too long. That's just an inherent map disadvantage on the south side of Output Shot here. Now Feast can just hold and sit back and defend. LDS is getting spotted by Hidden Surprise, with Lenny also getting spotted by Hidden Surprise here, and C is now getting captured with Lanny now they're not taking a hit, and at the moment Feast is leading by around 40 cap points, and Camp is going to branch out to get more information for the team. Radioactive is that mouse, very weird position by Radioactive though, because you usually don't see a mouse on that side, and that could be problematic here. Or great shots into reset the B here. Feast have worked their position to do that exactly, and Radioactive is trying to push into Feast. And I think Feast was just ignore the mouse at this point here. Great shot to Mr. Gurr, but I is looking to make a push on the outside as well because the mouses are really slow. I would say Feast will be looking to shut down the tanks near their spawn first and ignore the mouse entirely. Mr. Gurr is now really low, and now Feast is now looking to shut down Lanny here. Lanny is now the focus for Feast. And Born James Hall with 3 shells in this clip. It's going to put the second shell, but Beast Frost is blocking him a little bit. But ID has made a big response now. Camp is now killed. Born needs to kill off Lanny here, but it's a bounce. Not a good bounce indeed. And Born James Hall is now dead with Mr. Gurr bouncing onto Lanny again. You can't afford to bounce in this situation, and look at how slow Radioactive is on the other side of the map. Pretty much out of the game, out of the fight. F Silver is able to get C, and now with Mr. Gurr dead, it's now 5 versus 4. Radioactive is still trying to support the teammates, but it's so far away. Hidden Surprise is being dropped down, but some brief trampling here, and Active Duty is now going to be the sorry focus for Feast. Great ram here by Hidden Surprise. He's taken out, but B Frost is also dead, so it's actually not over yet for Feast. Feast needs to make sure they don't lose here. It's now 3 versus 3, but F Silver is still really healthy here now. That means F Silver can run around if things go really south, but Spartan Sword will be the focus. Oh, and it's a big miss from Spartan Sword onto F Silver once again. Z Park missing, bouncing the shells, but Spartan Sword now dead, and it's now going to be 3 versus 2. Sugar Mugu is going to go down soon, and look at F Silver farming in that Vickers Light. He is actually my man of the match this game. Well done to Feast, and with LDS now dead, Radioactive is the last person standing. Great response by Feast. The main problem is the mouses. One should not be taking the flanks. They should be in the central position, ready to support teammates whenever they could, and you could see why. You can see how you can see that the mouse couldn't really help support their teammates and allowed Feast to focus down the tanks near the spawn, because they know mouse will take a really long time to support, and despite the double mouse doing more than 3k, that means Feast is able to. That doesn't mean anything. What matters more is that there are 4 tanks doing more than 2k, and Feast has done brilliantly. Great map reading right here. Hello, the Silver, how are you doing? And we are now on to Faust. Yeah, I have no idea what he's talking about, Luis. Not now. We'll be displaying the winners that quickly. I will display it after the game. After the game. Camping. What is that? .com. Why are you roasting our lovely Campon? Don't do that, please. Please. We have the winners, I think. So. Oh, she ended. Oh my god. Here we are. Oh yes! ID taking the medium tank. Yes! Go! Let's go Slay and Feast. Double T20. Wow. I love you, Feast. Please, please 7 mediums or lights next time. I love that. I love that. Please make me proud with those mediums and lights. I love you. I love this. More mediums, the better. Mediums are better than heavies all the time. You know, this is why I love mediums a lot. You know, go for it, please, go for it. Feast is going to cap C with a double T1 fights by Bifrost and hidden surprise with the activity going into D, but Feast will get a cap lead because will be getting C more quickly and Campen and LDS looking to get into B very quickly at the start. The C is now captured by Feast with D captured by ID as well. Mr. Gurr is going to get spots through the middle, and Shigemugu is going to get spots near the A cap, but ID have 3 tanks very defensive near their spawn. You can see they're preparing to make shots into Feast whenever they got out in the open. Because Shigemugu couldn't spot up anything, now Feast is rotating their forces backwards. Because they know if they stay in C too long, ID could punish them though. The C part has to be really careful not to drop unnecessary hit points. With B now getting captured by Campen now, Mr. Gurr is going to get a shot into Campen to reset that. And Feast is also getting A at the same time here, but I think Mr. Gurr needs to push shell. Good reset shell onto B, but now A is going to be captured by Feast without any trouble at all. They can allow ID to get B, and that is going to be the case for ID. Feast has a hit point advantage still, but not hit point pool advantage. Oh, you're seeing the ID now pushing onto Shigemugu's now dropping the speed boost, trying to run away, but is he able to run away before ID's able to shut down tanks, and you're seeing tanks coming from below as well. Shigemugu is now doing the mission impossible. He needs to run away. He got shot by Gayam though. It's a miss onto Gayam, but landing great shot onto Shigemugu, and Shigemugu manages to run away just in time, but A is now getting captured by ID. That means Feast will be down in terms of caps, and Campen is now going to be focused for Feast. I think they should go for Campen now because he's very alone there, and Feast would need to now make a move to get the caps back or to kill all 7 tanks. And we're seeing Mr. Gurr looking for Campen, and LDS is now joined Campen. Oh, Mr. Gurr is just running away with F Silver now looking to get D, but that won't help too much because Feast is now down in the caps, and they're also down in hit points as well. Mr. Gurr is trying to run away. Oh, and he's now going to get into D, dropping the reactive armor, but he's not going to survive for long. He's now killed with Shigemugu still near the spawn. I think he's going to get some crossfire. And now Camp is going into C, getting that cap as well. That means Feast will be losing all 4 caps. And this is going to be worse for wear for Feast. Now, here's a surprise, and F Silver is looking to shut down Camp, and this is a good choice for Feast. But do they have enough time to kill all 7 tanks here? Because now ID is still leading in terms of hit points. And the Camp is now really low. And Bifrost is now getting isolated by IDs. ID has done really well to get a Feast going around in circles and getting isolated themselves. Bifrost now dead. Sugar and Mugu is now going to go down very quickly to radioactive. And that means ID 977 cap points is going to win this game, putting them to match point. Well done to ID. And sadly though, too many medium selects for Feast, and for a map like Faust, it's really not medium oriented though. And sadly, five tanks doing less than 1,000 damage for Feast, really not good indeed. And ID, only ones that are doing more than 2k, but they are very strong. You probably only want to take only 1 or 2 medium selects because really it's really hard to go around and flank and get some great it's just hard in general to play with 3 medium selects. It's a big ask. It's not like Vineyards or Desert Sands where you can take a lot of mediums fast. It's not the map for that. Oh, 69. Yes. No 69 viewers. No keys, yeah, no keys for you. Bald Eagle, no. Never at all. Alright, so Feast is going with a double IS4 by Hidden Surprise and Z Park, double T125 by Bifrost and Mr. Girl, Hidden Bond in the Crown Bargain, Sugar Blue T22, and F Silver Vegas Light. ID is going to be playing double IS4 by Captain Active Duty, double Crown by Radioactive and LDS, double T125 by Lanny's Father Sword of Game in T22. Here we are. The 6th game of tonight in the lower bracket final. ID still taking the medium tank, so that's really good. And I really love how Feast is still going with double T22. This can work really well, and they also have a lot more armor, so I believe Feast can do something out of this. And ID is only leading by around 700 cap points, so it's definitely not a lot of damage of advantage here. Well, that was a great summary by Cloudy Snow. I love medium tanks and Happy loves heavy tanks, so if we do 1 versus 1, I think he will win against me because he's so good. He can't do it, Armand. No, he can't do it now. It's over. See, he's now getting captured by ID, and the hit points, the cap points are now in favor of Feast, with A now getting captured by F Silver. LDS getting spotted, Camber getting spotted, great shots from Feast. This side they're trading better. Camber still spotted, LDS still spotted. Frozen is really happy that ID is now regrouping. And are they regrouping now? They are not regrouping now. They're going for B once again. They're trying to get the cap deficit to minimum, and they will get B, which means just only 1 kill away would swing the cap points back to ID's favor. And now LDS is now going downwards, and Feast just need to defend. Oh, A is now getting captured by Game. This is important here. If he can get A though, that means Feast would need to rotate. I think they're now going to do something about that. Game gets away from A because Bifrost and Z Park has managed to apply pressure, but at the same time Feast is looking to shut down LDS and Campen here. This is going to be important though. The hit was still in favor of ID, and Campen is going into the going down there. LDS is also retreating. ID is now regrouping, and the hit was still in favor of ID, but Cap was still in favor of Feast, with Game once again trying his hand onto A though, but this time A is a lot less fortified. So ID with Lanny now looking to shut down Z Park, and this is going to be really important now. F Silver is looking to flank from the other side, and Feast just need to consolidate and find the tank to focus. At the moment they are losing way too many hit points here, trying to find the right tank to focus here, now tagging up active duty here, and ID just need to focus down the Z Park and Bifrost, and I think they could see the deal here. Mr. Gur is now dead, and the next focus probably will be Hidden Surprise here. The hit was in total favor, and on the other hand, the T-22 is now getting shut down by Radioactive here. It's going to land that shell into Sugar and Mugu, and he's going to go down. Now, to the surprise, no getting shut down by these two tanks here, with Spawn, J-Spawn now dead. Lanny's now a one-shot here, and he's going to be killed by Feast tanks with Hidden Surprise, and now getting tackled by both Campen and Active Duty. Lanny's now killed, but Bifrost is going to put a shell into Campen. Hidden Surprise is now dead, and 3 versus 5. This means Feast is going to be finishing in the 3rd place. ID deserves to go through to the grand final. Silver misses that shell into Spartan Sword, but that's nothing Feast could do to salvage that situation here. And ID with F Silver getting rammed by Spartan Sword, Campen ramming into Z Park, F Silver getting killed, Spartan Sword getting killed, Bifrost getting killed, and ID looking to wrap things up with a big shot onto Z Park. Congratulations to ID, and Feast will be finishing the 3rd place, getting $700 tomorrow. It will be the match to find out which clan will get 3,500 damage. Here we are, Feast. We're seeing 3 tanks doing more than 2k, and ID 6 tanks doing more than 2k. So well done to ID. Brilliant stuff. And Feast this time, they look very disjointed, very confused. It took them some time to find a tank to get focus on. I think they are really crumbling under the pressure, and at least tomorrow there will be 2 interviews lined up. ID and E7 has promised to do interviews tomorrow, so you will be hearing the voices of both Campen and Matt. Lovely voices of them. So I'm looking forward to that match though. ID versus E7. This is going to be interesting, and that will also mean the Cups leaderboard here. They have knocked out. For the Cups leaderboard, they have knocked out. ID knocked out the 1st placing team in the Cups leaderboard. That means the 6th and the 7th placing team in the Cups leaderboard will be fighting for the champion of the Asia server in the spring season. E7 star. Yeah, ID barely qualified for top 8, and now they're in the grand final. So that is really cool. And Challengers tournament. Do we have results? Duh. Versus ECG. They are still playing, so it will go into a tiebreaker, I would say. And apart from that, let me get the winners up. Okay. I'll check while we still have some time. Yeah. And then we have oh, Maddox won the battle pass. Yes, Maddox got it. Someone got it as well. I'm just going to double check the winners and. Okay, so at least there are 2 of them here, and okay, at the moment all the winners are from the Asia server, so I got a lot of Asian fans, so that's really great indeed. Someone won it twice, so you'll be replaced. Okay, good. We got the winners.
I don't understand.
Yes, drink some coffee.
They take my hands, washing them in dirty water. Try to find what's right in a distant place. So far away, the silence fills my heart with empty space. But
GG's it is, yes. So here are the winners for tonight's giveaway.
and tensions rise. They push me to divert my vision, but I will break.
Okay, here are the winners for tonight's giveaway here. So congratulations to all of you guys who won this giveaway. We have Ronnie, Mommy Milkers, Stradolate, Vishal, Frozen, Maddox, Nuggies, and Server Boy, Ruler, and Alex getting your battle passes all on the Asia server. So I think it's the first time that all winners are from the same server. So Asia server strong. So well done to you all, and let's see if we have results for the Challengers tournament. Duh versus ECG. They're still playing, so definitely a tiebreaker it is. Yes, Mr. Gur scored 0 damage. Don't think he would be very happy about that. So we're still waiting for Dur versus ETG. Dur previously lost to NQE714, and finally NQE7 lost the match. So would that be a problem here? We will find out tomorrow in the grand final. Dur and ECG. Still playing. We'll wait that result, and when that result came through, we will end the stream. So that means I will play one game. In the yeah, see you then. See ya forever. See ya Kraken forever.
Let's get this show on the road.
Oh come on, pain. Or should I move? I feel like I need to move. Yeah, I will move. So just wait, hold, you guys, hold. Let me relocate, because really I can do nothing camping there. Oh, that star. Don't think I can shoot you from here, so just conserve your damage as your hit points will get into a good position soon. Just the one, are you going to go back? He knows that if he goes back, he will be in trouble. But don't think the team is letting me to do stuff. Oh, WZ120. Don't know if that hit, but let's hope it's this case. Blame Maddox, yes. There we go. That's embarrassing. Let's go. Let's see if we have results for ECG versus DUR. E7 lost to 7E. They are still playing, however. ECG still playing against her, so definitely tiebreaker. No idea what's going to happen. We're still waiting, so maybe we'll go for another game, then we'll get the result. Yeah, let's do it again. You're welcome, Lester. Maddox is laughing. He got a battle pass. You should. He's really happy. We can feel that, Maddox. At the moment, Maddox didn't jinx ID. Well, it jinx ECG though. Oh, Jetto. Well, that's bad. But at least we know 3 tanks we can say rush, right? I'll see if I can hold as long as I could. But this is not good. This is not good. I need a building. Thank you. I'm going to actually move forward. You know, so that someone try to push on me. Thank you very much. That's appreciated. I'm going to ignore. that projectile for a moment. Thank you. Thank you. Cheers. Ah, not again. Oh, what have I done? Yikes. Yeah, it's gonna be a loss, I would say.
Enemy armor is damaged.
Well, that's not nice.
This vehicle is hurt.
Wait, so ruler is plural now. Okay, we will see if we have results for the versus ECG yet. Drum roll, please. Madbox finally got it right. ECG 4-3 against the. That means now ECG is now in the grand final alongside NQE7. And I'm not sure what the Madbox is going to predict this one. I'm sure that Madbox will change NQE7 on that once again, and I think the algorithm has to change for the challenges tournaments, especially for the smaller servers. Now, actually, for all servers, I think I would need to change the code a little bit for the challenges tournament next season, so that it will give a lot better representation of the teams here. So this would mean now ECG and NQE7 will be fighting for the top spot. As you can see in this one, that will be streamed by Mnet. Yep. And Fuji will be back joining me to stream the grand final. And E7 versus ID. This is the bracket for you. And until then, thanks all for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the stream. And sorry for my lack of energy in today's commentary, because I've been following NA7 for 3 days already. Tonight I'll be following once again the challenges tournament, and it's going to be a long grind. So thank you all for watching, and see you